Hello everyone and welcome back to Golden Axe Myth. These potential race issues are never explored again. They just really don't talk about it after that. There are also lizard men in Golden Axe 2, but they don't talk very much about it then either. At least this game acknowledges it. So you already know how lizard men work. They're not really any different here than they were on the giant fish. You might see those giant glowing blue sparkly areas and think, what is that? And that's an extra area that we're not going to explore because they don't like to explore the extra areas because it means more enemies to fight, and it's not worth the prize you get. Most times they're more difficult than the actual stage you're playing, and you get something like extra potions to use more magic. Just really not worth it. The skeletons may not be nearly as dangerous as in the original Golden Axe, but they sure do take just as many hits. Here's my favorite mount in the game. It is a giant toad frog, one of those, and it kills things just by hopping around. You can also use its tongue, but that's far less effective. It's my favorite because its method of attack is so ridiculous, and you're practically invincible while you ride it. The enemies really don't know how to deal with you running around on a giant frog. We can manually get off mounts in this game, thankfully, because trying to pick up power-ups while riding the frog is a pain. It can't move normally, it can only jump, which I guess is its downside. It's not really a downside during combat, though. I try to kill some of the thieves here with it just for funsies. I shouldn't say kill, they don't appear to die. So we're gonna see a new mechanic in this stage. Not yet, but soon. These sentient tree enemies seem relatively harmless at first, but they have the distinction of being the enemy with the longest range, I think. They kind of barf a giant root out of their mouth that reaches about a quarter of the screen. So, you know, don't stand anywhere in front of them. Ever. We're mostly safe on our giant frog. It's funny to camp enemies with this mount. You just stand on top of them and jump when they get back up. Everything about this mount is pretty funny. I believe now is boss time. Yes, the fearsome mud demon. I'm sure it sounded more fearsome back whenever this game took place. So this guy, he's really hard to get a hold of. He moves all around the place. But when we do get a hold of him, he's screwed. We just turned on rage mode, which I think doubles our attack and makes us pretty much invincible. It's hard to get a hold of this boss, but like I said, once you do start wailing on him, he's just done for. There's nothing you can do about it. Really, all Rage Mode did was put him out of his misery a lot quicker. As Axe Battler, we're kind of the all-around guy, so we can just attack the thieves indiscriminately. Don't gotta worry about trying to focus. Welcome to the battlefield. I don't know what battlefield, or what was going on here, but there's nothing left but enemies. Presumably all our guys, whatever our guys are, they're dead. This stage is home to my least favorite mount. I think this is called a manticore. Oh, it left, but there's another one on the right side of the screen. The manticore attacks both in front and behind, but it has no charging attack, and it moves super slow. It might be more useful in multiplayer when you have people to back you up, but in single player, trying to use it is just not a good idea. I mean, in theory it's pretty awesome. But the enemies just swamp you before you can even use it. It's especially useless during boss battles. There, you got to see me attack with it a few times. There's not much to say about Battlefield, it's just enemies we've already seen, but in greater numbers than before. At least until the end. I feel like this game, which is already kind of easy after you figure it out, would be incredibly easy in multiplayer. To the point where you could just be kind of mindless about it. That being said, it has a lot more going for it than you would think from a fan-made game. But you've seen that already. These spikes only hurt us if we don't destroy them, and we can destroy them just by dashing into them. So I don't see why you wouldn't do that. There's a yet unspoken method to deal with the bad brothers, or bad brother, since there's only one of them in this case. Getting thrown by him is not the solution. But I really want to deal with the smaller enemies first. So again, trying to attack them head-on, terrible idea. But if we stay a great enough distance away, we can just leaping jump attack them. This is pretty hard to pull off because they can smack us out of the air. It's best to do it right as they get up, so they don't have time to see it coming. You may recognize the Bitter Knight. Now there's two of them, which is super hard. The entire strategy for dealing with these guys kind of revolved around there only being one attacking you at a time. Having to split your concentration between two can be pretty difficult. They also have a new attack. Originally they couldn't really defend themselves at close range, but now their shields open up and shoot a burst of lightning. Its function is basically just to get you the hell away from them, and it works. That guy tried to throw a sword, but you could just kind of smack it back, which is rather comical. The developers looked at what weaknesses these guys had and just completely eradicated them. They also have that shield bash. So the solution here is to come at them from above or below and attack constantly, because if you miss a single attack, they get an opportunity to open their shield and blast you. It has quite a long range, too. This is definitely one of the harder confrontations in the game. We got a good rhythm going right now, though. Yes, I made the foolish mistake of trying to use the mount just to show it off again. It's not worth it. And that's that.